Cool. So let's talk about the writing task 1. What are actually they asking you to do in a report? They're asking you to describe the main points of a diagram, the main points. When I say describe, I mean you will tell them what the diagram looks like. For example, I have a diagram that shows fast food consumption. I simply need to describe that fast food consumption has increased, has grown, has risen. I don't need to say fast food consumption has risen because fast food is delicious and affordable. See? No personal opinions involved. Right? So no, say no to that. You need to explain, okay, explaining is what you're going to do. Essays in task 2 writing, therefore in task 1 writing, your job is to describe the main points of a diagram. What is a diagram? You might be asking. You all know something about the diagrams, okay? So the first one is something like that. This is called flowchart. So this is a diagram, as you can see, and this is a process. What is the process? Show something, a method of doing something, right? Here it's about digging clay, and also it's about making bricks, right? So the process. So what kind of language do we use here? Do you know what kind of structures do we use mostly for the process?
First, second.
Okay, very good, very good, very good. That is awesome. That is awesome. So you start with, because actually, how do you start? How do you kind of, where's the first? Where's the action? You start with that one, right? Firstly, secondly, thirdly, or the next one, the next step is you can make it more complicated, whatever you want. Okay, right? And then finally, ultimately, right? Something like that. Okay? I'm going to tell you something for the process. We have, how many lines do we have? Okay, so try to kind of go based on that. We have the kind of first one, the excavation, and also kind of, the factory, and also preparing and delivery. So we have 3 lines. See, they don't put that like this because, for the beauty. They do that for the purpose. The purpose is that, yeah, factory, preparation, delivery. See? So you're going to get used to it, okay? So that now, there is a grouping, classification, okay? So you can start with the first line, explain that, then the second line, and the third. Then when it comes to delivery, so now you have an understanding, right? Now you get something from it. If you don't know, you're looking at it, where should I begin? Then what should I use? Then now okay, you start with the process. The process starts from the factory, which these things happen. Then it goes for the preparation. Then it goes for the delivery. See? Okay, this is how we understand a process. Also, we use passive language. Why do we use passive language here?
To keep the passive form.
To keep the passive form for the passive language. That was...
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't an obvious...
That actually was distracted.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Keep it academic, actually.
Academic. It is, kind of, but what makes it academic?
We do not need the subject, in academic papers.
Okay, so
factual.
So to talk about facts, we use present simple, whether it is active or passive, right? We use the tense. So why? Because do we see someone who is kind of doing, for example, the digging thing?
No.
Okay. So do we need to say workers do that? That's why we use passive language. It's so simple. Okay. So we don't see it. So do we know who delivers the product? Yeah? No. So we say it is delivered. It is kind of put somewhere. It is digged, the kind of clay or whatever the material from the ground, right? So that's why we use passive in processes for the task 1, okay? So it's so obvious. And it makes it kind of, because, you know, politicians love to use passive language. Why? Because when there's a problem, they say, okay, it is said that there is a problem, and the problem actually is created or was created with something, and they don't say I created the problem, right? There's nothing kind of like that, and because they don't want to mention. Here also we actually do the same trick. We don't want to mention the person who does that. There's no need. There's no name here, okay? The company of production of Baradaran Alipur, there's no here, okay? Cool? Very good. So yeah, this is called graph or line graph. It shows actually over time or period of time, as you can see, the line graph. So we have some things that are important in the line graph, okay? We have the vertical axis, we have the horizontal axis, we have the lines, we have the keys, actually. And also, what is the trend here? Can you tell me?
Upward mostly.
Upward mostly for 2 of them. And one of them is downward. Okay. When I say, kind of, you know, what is the actually trend? So there's no need to talk about, you know, the kind of somehow the movement. We're not talking about the movement. We're going to talk about the beginning, see, and the ending. So the 2 that have kind of the least percentage, is it percentage? No, the numbers, okay? They have become the highest. But actually the highest at the beginning, it has become the lowest among 3. So we have 2 trends here, rising and downward, right? So 2 main trends here. So we need to mention the two main trends here and then describe the movement of the trends. So first we introduce the trends, then we describe the movement. Again, we have an understanding here. You need to understand that. So this is not complicated, to be honest. Sometimes it is, but you know, generally you need to understand the movement and also the trends. Is that clear? Very good. So also we may have kind of something like what? Like tables, like that. Also tables are so confusing for a lot of, should I put this? Should I put this? Should I put this? No, you don't need to do that. Only the main trends. Which one is the highest? Which one is the lowest? Which ones has the kind of most changes? Or which one stayed stable? Sometimes there are anomalies, I mean, sudden changes, okay? So you need to mention those, but not all the numbers, okay? So, for example, here, this one, 99, 99, among age ranges, 16 to 19, 25 to 29, 60 to 69, so all of that. See? Still, but this one, downward. This one, downward. This one, okay? A little bit increasing, okay? This one, so the most changes are for this one, for example, 25, 50, 38. So you need to mention that, okay? So also 15, 35, 61. So this is a huge change among age ranges. So you need to mention that too, okay? 9, 14, and this is the lowest one. This is the highest one, and this is the lowest one. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but okay, because I'm not used to do that with the windows, okay? So, is that clear? So this is the actually another one. Also we have pie charts. Pie charts are delicious. They're pies, okay? So pie charts are like, you know, they may actually 100 as in 1990s and 2010 we have here. So we have some keys: coal, oil, natural gas, hydropower, and nuclear power here. Okay, and they're the same thing. So you see, this is 17, and it becomes 67. So it's huge change, right? And the rest of them, actually, this one was 6%. Now it's 2%. So still the least amount of it is production by fuel. Okay, and also, so the rest of them. So it's important to mention those changes. So again, you say in 1990s, it was like, the biggest one was this yellow one, which was natural gas. But it has changed through the time, and it was replaced by what? By nuclear power. Let me make it bigger a little bit. Sorry for, okay, too big. Okay, cool. Yes. So, kind of like that, right? So these are the main changes. The biggest one, the smallest one, the biggest changes, these ones. Okay? Then, okay, we come to what? Bar graphs. So again, we have some keys for career, for interest. Also, we have some numbers. Again, what are the things that are important? We have the bars, and also this one, and you're more familiar with these ones, okay? Especially on debates on, presidential debates on RTV. They always show something like that. Okay, so this one you're more familiar with. So, okay, so we have the bars, we have the actually vertical axis, the horizontal axis, the keys is obvious, so under 20. So we have age ranges. So what are the actually changes that are can you tell me what are the trends here? Think about it for 30 seconds.
The blue bars are sliding down. In contrast, the
Yes.
red one.
So for actually, as the age changes, as the age increases, the blue bars for career, the career reasons for studying according to age for a student. The reasons for career, there are less reasons, okay? But for age over 30, so they're the opposite, okay? They're opposites. So here we have for career and for the reasons, actually for studying, okay? It changes. So the youngsters tend to do what? Do it for career. The elders, age 40, 49, 40, in their 40s, they actually do it for their interest. Because they love language. They love, actually, the study. See? So the opposite trend we have here. And the highest is for under 26 for the career, and the lowest is they're equal in this stage. So these are the key trends. Is that clear? You're bored. Yes. Thank you for the honesty. Yes. Cool. Very good. Yes, it is boring, to be honest, because a lot of information I'm gonna. So we're looking at what? Maps, right? We have two maps. One of them is for 1936, the other one 2007, right? So, and we need to mention the changes here, okay? So here, for example, here we have, actually you can, it is when you look at it, it is so complicated, to be honest. You get so confused, puzzled, perplexed, whatever you call it, okay? Because you look at it and you see it's some vague images in something. But if you sharpen your eyes, and if you look at it like as I do, so you're going to change your mind. Let me make it bigger. Okay. So as you can see here, okay, first of all, we have, there's a central part and there is actually surroundings. Right? So we have also, you can do it geographically. I mean, you get the northern part, the actually southern part, or this part, or this part. Okay, it is kind of, you know, classified for you. So here we have more trees. Here we have less trees. Here we have a river. It is actually changed to residential area. So here we have cycling path. Here we have road. Again, we have farmland. It is golf course. So we have less greenery, right? So the actual map has changed to something more residential. Okay, so it has, you can call it, you can say, okay, it has become more residential as a trend. Okay, so you look at these ones. It says office, butchers, flower shop. What happens? Okay, so and these things, I shouldn't touch it. And post office, supermarket, shopping centers. So there are more shopping centers, right? So there are more facilities. Okay. And also, what do we have here? This is government officers, museums. So government office, I guess, moved to here, right? No, it is removed. So some places are removed too. So we can classify to the places that are removed, places that stayed the same actually place, or they actually changed in size, and the places that are completely changed, okay, or are added. So we have 3 categories here, okay? So we can group them. See? You can group them also geographically. For example, the northern part has changed, the southern part has changed like this, the western part or the eastern part. So it depends on the map you have. So you need to mention the changes. Less trees, okay? Less green area, and also more facilities. Then you start talking about what do I mean by there are less green area and less kind of parks and things like that. I mean, there are less trees, the river is removed, instead we have a residential area. Then I say, what do I mean there are more facilities? I say, okay, you see there's a shopping center in the middle that there was nothing. There didn't used to be a shopping center here. Okay, now we have one here. So what structures do we use mostly? Grammatically. Where?
While there were some blah blah.
Where? What is the function? Comparing. Past, present, past, present, past, present. Used to structure. There used to be. Didn't used to be. Okay? Also while, however, something like that, right? Also comparing, comparative adjectives. It is bigger, more in size, something like that. Smaller, numbers are lesser, are higher, something like that. So also we use the superlatives, the comparatives, comparative adjective, and comparative adverbs. So one more thing you need to review, comparative structures. Okay? Comparative, superlatives, right? From the book? Grammar and use. Okay? Very good. Nice. What else? Okay. Let's. Yes.
For the analyze the map, is it important to have make an argument?
What do you mean make an argument?
For example, give an argument for this, and after that we can compare. Means
argument. You say argument. Argument over something. Argument is when you agree or disagree with an idea. Do we have agreement and disagreement here? No. So whether you're saying something.
Residential area.
You say why it has become residential? No. Just report that.